Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily story with a chapter from one of my novellas. Before I start today's chapter, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this book and any of my other fiction, then they're all available from all major ebook retailers. You can order the paperback and hardback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore and local library if you requested. Also, if you want the AI generated audiobook, then you can get it from selected audiobook platforms and library systems like Kobo, Spotify, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Baker & Taylor, Biblioteca and Overdrive. Now, here's today's chapter. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did writing it.
Chapter 1. Queen Augusta Windsoro stood on the wonderfully hard, perfectly smooth, cobblestone pavement of her own breathtaking royal gardens as she waited for her latest royal appointment to arrive. Some ambassador from one of the two remaining human kingdoms. Augusta hardly cared which. The sun was perfectly high in the crystal-clear blue sky, so it shone like a bright beacon of hope, happiness and good fortune over her kingdom of Octogi and Lordigo, and she was so glad the weather was good. The cobblestone pavement she was standing on was lined with large sensational bushes of fresh blue roses, and as much as Augusta loved her royal gardens, it was the roses that really did it for her. On the bushes there were so many large roses that it was stunning to look at. She really wished that she could spend all day and night in the gardens, exploring the trees, plants and flowers that came from all four of the old human kingdoms. And ever since Augusta had claimed Lordigo through peaceful means, she had managed to add even more delightful plants to her ever-growing collection. The air was always a dazzling combination of sweet fresh roses, sharp bitter apples that grew in an orchard just behind the rose trees, and the sweet citrus bite of the blood oranges that always left the sensational taste of orange tarts form on her tongue. Augusta really loved her gardens more than almost any other part of the kingdom, and it was on days like this that she seriously needed the gardens more than ever. It had been 2 great years since she had killed old King Alfred of Lordigo, and his sons had agreed to join forces with her, so the kingdoms merged. And Augusta was really enjoying having sexy, hot and stunning Charleston around, and it was great how close they had grown over the past 2 years. The union had been great for both countries. Octogi finally got a working sanitation system, money and reinforcements to defend the country from the constant threat of orc invasions. Everything had been great. But the most powerful of the human kingdoms was clearly scared of Augusta's ambition, and of course the Emperor of Jasper had every single right to be concerned. She wanted all the human kingdoms under one united banner, considering how many dangers there were. Augusta believed she had done a great job in the first year of convincing Jasper and the Longmanno Crown Prince that she was no threat to them, yet, and Jasper had even withdrawn the millions of soldiers, steam-powered tanks and creatures from the border as a gesture of peace. Augusta still couldn't believe she had been so stupid to believe him, and fall into the Emperor's trap. He wasn't waging a military war against her, even though she would have been crushed in a month or two, he was waging a political war against her kingdoms. Jasper had cut off all trade with them, leading Octogi to be starving. Many of Lordigo's fishing and other main industries were crippled because Jasper was no longer trading with them, and even the religious leaders of the kingdoms were aligning themselves with Jasper. Augusta hated those pathetic leaders anyway. And to make everything even worse, Augusta really hated how the orcs had taken a chunk of territory out of her kingdom last month. They had attacked 3 days after Lordigo and her own kingdom had merged, and ever since she had been able to defeat them until now. Augusta knew the moment that news got out, her people would be frightened, fearful, and they would want her out immediately. She knew that her damn rule was hanging by a single thread, so she just really hoped that whatever ambassador was coming to see her would have good news to share. Your Majesty. The ambassador of Longmanno is here, Augusta's best friend and chief witch Savannah said. Augusta really wanted Savannah to stay so Augusta could hear her input, But Savannah smiled and went away, so clearly she had scanned the ambassador's mind, and they were a good person who didn't want to kill her. That was always good to know. A few moments later, a very tall man wearing bright yellow robes walked up to Augusta and bowed. She had heard stories of Longmanoyans before, and this one seemed different. All her spies had confirmed that the Longmanoyans were strong, muscular people that were extremely well fed, so they had good food, they were always attractive, and never showed a single sign of injury. This one wasn't like that. Augusta weakly smiled at the man's burnt face that twisted into a half smile because the other half had melted closed, but the man's eyes were so gentle, calm and caring that Augusta knew that he wasn't a danger. He was wearing the official robes of Longmanoyan government, and it seemed so strange that he didn't bring any guard, treasure or anything with him. Then Augusta noticed his shoes that looked to be black, finely crafted and bound together with some sort of golden thread that was all twisted and cracked and burnt. Your Highness, I have an urgent matter to discuss with you, because the fate of the entire human lands rest on us too. Augusta frowned because this man certainly knew how to make an entrance, but she knew that he wasn't lying. Over the past 2 years of the other 2 kingdoms getting more and more powerful, she had had so many meetings with lying politicians, and she was a master now. This man wasn't lying. And that actually excited her, a lot more than she ever wanted to admit.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the internet engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.